What's going on, guys? I'm here back again with another video, and today I am back with another video. And I've missed you guys so much, and I really do owe an explanation to what's been going on for the past 6 months and what has been happening behind the scenes. But if you read the title of this video, yes, it is officially time to tell this story of how a quote-unquote a 10-year friendship that went left during my high school year. High school year. Now, keep in mind, I will be using fake names in this story time, and I possibly would have features in here. I am not technically too sure, but I will probably have to work something out because my schedule is all type messed up. But anyway, let's get a bit of a summary here. So, let's see. This started on elementary, so I was around 10 years old at the time. And the current house that I was living in had got flooded with the rain that was pouring. Hurricane Katrina. So, we basically had to move. Everything got flooded. Neighbors' house and basements, they got wrecked to death with the Grim Reaper lurking around. So apparently we couldn't stay there anymore. We had to move, which we currently did. And now, here we are. Now, I don't know too much about this person here. No, back then, because I had zero information about who he was, how he treated people, did he have any friends, did he do this, that, etc., etc. So let's get this started. Now, this started elementary when I was around 10 years old at the time. And I had started school very late in the month of, we're going to say January, per se. So, some month of January, and I had transferred schools because the movement that I had made, I couldn't be there anymore, and technically they were going to find out regardless, so it was kind of a bit no use. At this point on, I had gotten to, so at this point I had gotten approved of getting into, elementary, chaos. So I go in, whatever, and I meet my, assistant teacher. So my assistant teacher had escorted me and my brother. He went to hallway brown, and I went to hallway orange. So she showed him where he was supposed to go. So this was his section of the hallway of the building, and my section was the other side. So at this point here, that you could possibly tell that there were different sections all on the building within the colors. So at this point, so assistant teacher had showed me where things were. So like the main, so the hallway was like right here, and like the office was like somewhere between here, whatever. Lunchroom was down the hallway, but it was like certain section that you had to go through. So it was over here on the left-hand side, and the classrooms per se were like on left, like down like the middle, and so forth. At this point, so she had told me that this is where we're going to be meeting up for a class reading. So like this person be in front, and behind that person be the next person, and etc. So the teachers will be either standing on either side. It possibly didn't matter. At this point, after I saw that, I was like, okay. So she showed me the ropes, and she had shown me the classroom, and I had a little cubby with her. So she had pointed out, yeah, the cubbies are like on the left-hand side, so you can put your stuff in. I was like, okay. So my stuff had been put into a available cubby that needed to be there because I didn't know I couldn't, carry my stuff around. That was probably like against the rules, whatever, etc. At this point, right? So she says, okay, everyone, lunch, put your stuff away and go. I was like, okay, bet. So I put all my stuff away. We're heading down to breakfast. So we head to breakfast. I'm getting what's available. And they had this, like, sandwich, like, it was like a cheese and egg sandwich, whatever. I was like, oh, they're different breed top sandwiches or whatever. And he had other sandwiches. other food products per se. Anyway, moving along. So we finally get to the cafeteria, and so I end up eating my breakfast, and then that's when I had met the teacher, or she introduced me to, and then that's when I had met half the students that were there, and for the other ones, they were busy, eating breakfast. So I was like, all right. So he had agreed to take half the class back to the classroom. So I'm sitting there, like, all right, bet. So I got done eating breakfast, and then I'm heading back with them to the classroom, whatever. So we're sitting there walking, and I'm just, sitting there listening to conversations, whatever. They're just funny. I'm just bursting out laughing repeatedly. I mean, oh my gosh. What more can you possibly ask as a, preteen? Skipping forward now. So we end up in the classroom, so he asks one of his students to explain what's the rules of his classroom and what should we follow and not to follow if he doesn't give that order. So he goes around and he points to Sus. Now, Sus had said, all right, so basically when he assigns assignments, it's either due on this specific date. Is that due the next date or the week after? It's due that specific date. No late required. And if it's due next week, it's due Monday. If it's due Friday, then it's due Friday. Either or, unless he says otherwise. So at this point, he tells me that. I was like, okay. And then that's when Twin Sus, he said that if you need to go to the bathroom or need to get called somewhere, there's different passes. So you have the bathroom pass, which is that's right there. The bathroom pass, and this would be the hallway pass. And then you have a special pass, be the speech pass, which is this. So those were the three things that were necessary. So I did have to go to speech communications because that was required through high school. That was the last time I ever had to do that. Now, nothing really happened between the weeks until, close to, the... I want to say the third week was, Fam was gotten off on the lotion thing. Now, this is the first major red flag. The first red flag was that he's bugging out over lotion. I'm like, dude, it's just a bottle of lotion. It's not, something like that teen like this small or, something like this. It's, a straight, medium-sized lotion bottle. And he was like, oh, don't use too much. No, he said, don't give it the lotion. I was like, dude, it's lotion. I don't know how long that lotion has been there, but it's probably didn't reach its expiration date, so it's still good. Everything's fine. It's usable, and people can use it when necessary. So that got me mad. I'm like, this nigga did not tell me he did not tell me to don't OD. I'm like, OD on who? On lotion or on what? I'm like, who do you think you are? You must want the concussion amongst friends. You must want it. We have it. If we save it, you getting it. So that got me mad. So I'm like, you know what? I ain't gonna show out, because I know if I do, my mom gonna kill me on set. Anyway. So he left to use the bathroom because we were supposed to go somewhere important. So I was like, hey, so I had said to, we're gonna call him, we're gonna call this teacher. Alright, so I had said to Miss Andre, I was like, hey, I have a question per se. And he was like, so what's up? So I had mentioned the situation in a problem at hand. I had told him what happened, what this fool said, and telling me I need to stop voting. How about you don't worry about what I do and worry about yourself What you told. Nope, I'm not going to finish it because if I say one thing, child, it's going to be on God. And I'm going to get struck by lightning straight up. So at this point, he was like, alright, I'll deal with it. But he said specifically that I was going to, stick up for myself. So when he came back, that's when I did it. And I was like, alright, I feel better now. So at this point, moving forward, nothing really happened there. So the second red flag, it wasn't to the point where I had mentioned, the second red flag was the end of the school year. So we're jumping ahead to June. So in that month of June, Max and Ruby, those were the other friends that I still know to this day. But one of them went to a different, one moved and the other one went to a different school, which was still here. So Max and Ruby was just talking amongst each other, and I was, like straight in the middle. And I'm just, doing whatever, and like, you see, like, the old days when Nickelodeon had this and that, but, I wish I can go back to those days and just wish they could bring them back, but anyway. So, I overhear a conversation, and he was like, yo, did Sus ever dated, Stalker 2? I'm like, since when did this fool ever dated anyone? Mind you, I didn't have no ton of information. I had nothing. I was in the dark, so I didn't know anything. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't think he did. I have no idea. And so Max had wrote to me. He was like, yo, he dated Stalker 2, right? I was like, he must have. I was like, yes. And he was like, oh, no, I never dated her. She, I see this, see that. Blah, blah, she has nothing on me. Why would I ever date her? Ugh, she's not my type. I'm like, you sure they did it? He was like, oh, bro, like, I'm sure. I'm positive. I'm like, on everything. I'm like, okay. I believe you. Just don't act towards me. Just don't act different. That never ever left my mind at all to this very day. So I was like, okay, whatever. So at this point now, jumping ahead. So this is where we're out of school. Vacation Bible School is where things went too far. Reasons why that went too far is because my mom had told us that we're going to Vacation Bible School. Y'all ain't going to be sitting in the house playing video games. You ain't going to go outside, get some exercise that you need. You need the sunshine, vitamin D, all that stuff. You going to go there and y'all going to learn something. I'm like, I said I had no feeling. I was limited to none. I couldn't go nowhere. She like, who else you going to? Who? What? No. When? That time? Double no. You ain't going. What? Grounded. I'm like, okay, now I'm getting the full bleed. At this point now, we had an argument over the most dramatic thing ever. Before that argument started, I went to my friend, now he's my godbrother, so I went to my godbrother. I was like, yo, do you know anything about Sus or whatever? Because I know nothing of him, and I was just hoping if you had any information, because you basically have some type of knowledge of what he is, because he's probably a people person. And he was like, bro, now, this is the third red flag. He was like, bro, I don't know what you're doing with that nigga. You need to leave and dip and don't talk to him ever in your life. I'm like, I just met this fool. What are you talking about? I'm like, bro, it's only like it was only like close to like the close to 15-minute mark. I'm like, dude, and you're already telling me that he mad. I'm like, what did he do? So he goes on explaining about, oh, like, the reason why we're not friends anymore is because, like, he talks so much smack. He has a mouth. He can't back anything up. And when you say something, he gets offended by it. And then when he gets offended by it, then he wants to start throwing hands and people ain't happy. And then everyone else and their grandmother out here looking at us thinking that we are on crack. I'm like, I don't know why on earth I would just pay that no mind. I'm like, oh God. I was like, just don't be his friend. I'm like, okay. I didn't know. Like, whatever. At this point now, we go through all that. So at the close to mid-end of Bible school, this is where we got into, now this was around, like, what, mid-July. So I ended up meeting this, the Hispanic girl, whatever, right? And she had a crush on me about whatever. Mind you, I was minding my own business. I didn't know what I wanted in life because I was still young. So at this point, I was close to my teens. So I was getting close to, middle school. So I was like, well, I honestly don't know what I want or what I want to do, but I have plenty of time. So I'm just, playing ball, whatever. I'm just enjoying myself because, this is a game that we was doing. We was playing basketball, to be more precisely. So we was playing ball. And then, I was just, my own business. I didn't say anything to people. And I was when I was up to the, what is it? I went to the upstairs kitchen. Yeah, I went to the upstairs kitchen because I was basically moving stuff. And then she was like, hey, I gotta tell you something. I was like, what are you gonna tell me? And she's like, don't say anything to nobody. And she had to look for a pencil and a piece of paper. And she was like, I have a question. I was like, what? I'm like, this is like your second or looks like your first day being here, and already my mind was just racing. I'm like, I didn't say a word. I was like, that's surprising enough. I mean, I didn't know I pulled it off that fast because I was just minding my own business. Like I said, I just kept doing what I needed to do and didn't worry about getting in trouble at all. So here comes the thirst bucket police talking about, oh, it's me, this, me, that. I'm like, bro, why are you thirsty for? Get out of my bubble and keep out of the conversation that isn't required to you, or that one, because it is none of your business. I was still a teenager back then, but I still kept it real, and I wanted to lash out because they wouldn't shut up. At this point now, it gets worse of the end, because now she talking down the dude, I get dumped. This dude dumpster comes out of nowhere talking about how many times you kissed her this, you do that. I'm like, it's none of your business. First of all, it's none of your business about what the heck I did. It's none of your business to question about what we did in the first place. Third of all, why are you so concerned? It's none of your business. It's not your concern. And if you think I'm going to tell you, you ain't going to find out because it's still not your concern. And this is where it popped up because we got into an argument over ball, and then everyone cursed each other out. We didn't even care who it was. We wreaked havoc. I'm like, yo, I'm about to get myself killed, but I didn't know. The first time I told the truth because I had exposed the truth. Then I came back out and then watched the whole thing flood down. I was like, great, now I get into more trouble because I had to beat this one, I had to beat that one. I'm like, I'm not trying to die right here. I am not trying to beat someone up because I am not doing it. At this point now, the fight got situated. Everyone else indeed got in trouble. I mean, I only got in trouble once. The second time, I didn't get in trouble. After that, I just left that beard alone. I wasn't dealing with it. Alright, so now fast forward at this point. So I'm at the age of like what now? 13 at this point? Yeah, so 13, 14. So I'm at 13 now. No. So I was like, yeah, 13. No, wait, hold on. I was 11, yeah, 12. So I was at least between like 10 or 12 when I got in middle school. So at this point now, we are in middle school. So I end up meeting a bunch of new people who I didn't know that went to elementary that goes here. So I'm meeting new friends or whatever. So at this point, the building, the school we're going to call this middle school. We're going to call it, we're going to call it Penny Quarters. So Penny Quarters is somewhat bigger. So you have the main entrance, which is right there. And then you have the second entrance, which was I want to say like 10 feet away from the playground. So you had the soccer field, and you had the the basketball area right over there, tennis, stuff like that. So we got showed. So at this point, we in the field trip got showed around. So he was like, "All right, so this is the entrance right here, double doors, security's that's right here, office is right here. The entrance to the office is right here. You get checked in and out. The principal's office, his office was on the other side, and then there's an other lady that asks what you're doing here, which, keep in mind, I get sent to that nigga twice. Oh my goodness. But we're going to make, mind you, I'm going to tell you exactly why. So, anyway, so I get started around, so now you know that this section was, so you have section A right here, section B, C, and D, and then you have like somewhat like section F, which is like right there. Anyway, at this point, so I get stuck because I didn't know where my classes were. And then like the security guard was like, "Hey, do you need any help?" And I was like, "Yes, please." So I had explained to her like I was supposed to be in this particular class, but I went all around the building. I went to section A, C, D, and I like went through like F, whatever. But there's like nothing there because the thing was the speech room was right here. ISS was there, and there's ISS was right here, and there's an other room that was here, and I had done whatever. And she was like, "Oh, so basically, like your classes are like in section B, which is like right over there. So just keep going down and be on your right hand side." I was like, "Oh, okay, thank you so much." Imagine, this is my first time being in Penny Quarters. At this point, so I finally meet the people who I didn't meet. And I see the familiar faces who I saw were still here. I thought they were gone. Well, they wasn't gone. Now, this was in September. So in September in here. So at this point, I ended up getting my locker the third week. She explained to us that math would be on the other side. Math would be on next door, Then, other than that, then if you didn't have that, it'd be over here. So it'd be math, and then reading ahead here is science to be next door. And then if you had art, it would be in section C or something like that. It will be in here. And then the other one, which I had, would be in section A. At this point now, we finally get to where stuff starts. We finally get to start things like hits the fan. So like I said, so I didn't get my luck the third week because she had told us we couldn't carry ourselves around the hallway. That's high school policy, probably in a safety hazard, matter of fact. Third of all, it would cause suspicions of why we had our stuff with us, because, you know, we would probably get stopped, and people would be like, people would be like, you know, whatever. So, at this point, sorry about that. Now, as I was trying to say, so, like I said, it may cause suspicions, which it was going to, and then we were probably going to get stopped and questioned about what kind of stuff with us when it's against the rules, and if we didn't put them away, just the principal's office, then call from home, and probably get suspended or getting expelled. Yeah, I wasn't allowing that to happen. Now, as all that stuff, I'm finally getting the hang of the school and where my classes are, so I'm like, alright, I'm all Gucci. Got my locker, put stuff in it, and because the thing was, my locker was in the mid-center, something like that. So I was in the middle between Twin Sus, and then Sus was on my right-hand side. And, you know, like me and Twin Sus, whatever, we would always say no, like, Stalker 2. Mind you, this was the first major red flag. We continuously said that the moment that the school year started. We constantly kept saying it. So that's the first major red flag. Mind you, that's going to keep going on. So at this point now, everything's running fine, whatever and whatnot. So the fourth major red flag was this. So we're jumping ahead now. We finally, you know, we're in gym class, whatever, and we're getting the ropes down. So the gym teacher that we had, he was like, alright, so the rules are you gotta change each and every day. If you have a gym class, you gotta change each and every day. But here's the kicker. If you don't change throughout the whole school year, you would have gym every single day. I know a friend who did this, and I know a friend who was pissed because he didn't change. So that kind of destroyed what he did because he didn't change at all. So at this point, now we're in gym class now, right? And one day we're just I'm changing, and then we was playing basketball. Now this was still in the midwinter, so we'll see. October was like Halloween dance. After that, and November. So in the month of November, it's cold, but and one day, no, it was open gym, whatever, and he was there. So I'm noticing I'm changing whatever and whatnot, and you know I'm getting to my gym shorts as usual. Mind you, I never knew that this fool was carrying a PSP with him throughout the whole, at the end of the school day. So I'm sitting there on my phone, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And out of like mid nowhere, it wasn't until like what? It was sixth period, so it was seventh period. I'm sitting there, I'm chilling in some period, whatever. And then who gonna have the audacity to be like, no, I didn't know. The thing was, I got no. Anyway, continue on what I said. Now, at this point, I'm sitting there, I'm chilling, writing notes down as you know what she says to write this, write that, what not to copy, whatsoever. So I'm sitting there, I'm writing notes and I'm getting everything that she's saying, etc., etc. So the thing was like now before all of that, back up a bit. So I ended up going. No, I'm getting dressed, whatever. So gym class ended. It was supposed to be. No, it was going to end, and then we were supposed to be in some period. So I'm like, all right. So we're in locker rooms. I'm getting changed, whatever, and I take a quick mini shower. So I do that. I got myself dressed, whatever, and I'm all good to clean. So I have my stuff with me, and everything's in my book bag. So I ended up going to this point, bell rings. Now I had the sixth period now. And I'm sitting there, mind my own business, whatever. And like I noticed something was wrong, because mind you, I was at my locker, put the stuff that I don't need away, and then the stuff that I would need, I would put it inside the classroom. So I'll leave this and that, and then the stuff that I wouldn't use be in the locker. It wasn't until like the middle of the period. So I'm like sitting there, and then I noticed Such ain't there. Converse isn't there. And then I'm like, where did these two knuckleheads go? And mind you, I didn't pay any mind. This fool went straight to the principal's office. I didn't even know he went to the office because I left before him. So I was already dressed. I was gone. So I'm just my own business, and the phone rings, and my teacher gets a call from the office. I'm like, oh, come on, bro. And so now, no, he was there. And then I'm like, why am I getting... So I'm just walking down. I'm like, why in the literal bloody hell am I getting called to the office for? I'm like, dude, if it's something to do with anything that happened in gym class, I would have no information. I would have plasma out of everything because I didn't touch nothing. I didn't do anything. I didn't beat you know who. I didn't touch this. I didn't curse out that person. Nothing. So I'm just walking down. I'm just mad. I'm like, bro, I know mom gonna kill me now. At this point, I'm getting to the office, and I'm like, say, like the door, whatever. So like, there was like a door that was like right here on the left hand side. So if you keep going through the library, and then from there on you make a left, keep going straight until you see like this tiny door, whatever, and it's like both sides. So I ended up going through that door, and there was this lady at the desk, whatever, and she was like, can I help you? What are you doing here? I was like, to be honest with you, I have no idea. I don't know why I'm even here in the first place. Neither do I want to be here. And I was just called down here for whatever reason. I don't know, because I am clueless. Fair amount of the room be like, oh, I call me here and there. I was like, alright. So she tells me to sit down. I'm like, I'm like, bro, I don't want to be here. I don't know what was going on. At this point now, I'm just like, what could make this fool so mad about? Mind you, no electronics whatsoever. If you bring them, it had to be in your locker throughout the whole entire school day. Because if they find it on you, you're screwed. So I'm just sitting there, and he finally calls me in. And I see Converse, and I see this other dude. I'm like, why are you two here? I'm like, oh, here we go. So I sit down, and now he finally fills me in. He tells me during sixth period that somebody... No, it was a... What did you say? I think it was... No. No, it wasn't. Because he was still there. Because he had unlocked the gym doors because we were still in open gym or whatever. So, everything was cool. He tells me someone had snuck into the locker rooms during sixth period, mind you. The period wasn't even over yet. He goes around and tells me a PSP, someone had snuck into the locker room, stole a PSP, and it magically disappeared and no one knows where it is. I'm like, so you're telling me that this fool bunged his PSP to school knowing that he could not take it with him, and you're just being so stupid and expecting I took your crap? I didn't even know he had it. So I'm just like, I don't know what you're talking about, first of all. Second of all, I didn't even know he had it. And third of all, why am I being accused of this fool's PSP getting stolen when he's not supposed to have it with him? At this point, I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I ain't saying anything because I'm useless. They ain't saying anything because they're probably suspicious as more than anything else. So I didn't know what to do. And then an officer came out of nowhere. I'm like, oh my God, I am not going to juvie over a stolen PSP that has nothing to do with me. I am clueless, bro. I have no... Oh my God. So it was like, come on, guys, like, this would be, like, an easy way to the highway. I was like, oh my God. I was just like, I don't know what to do. I was going to get arrested, accused for a stolen PSP that had nothing to do with me whatsoever. About a good 5 to 10 minutes later, Converse finally says something, and then he sends the two of us out of there. I'm like, really? Oh my goodness. So I'm walking off so mad. I'm like, I went to this fool. I was like, first of all, why would you suspect me of stealing your crap? Second of all, what are you doing with the PSP in school in the first place? You're not supposed to have it with you. What is you doing? It is not supposed to be like this. It was like, oh, I thought you took it. Nigga, I wasn't even in that locker room. I had no access to the locker room. The doors were open. I was playing ball. Didn't even know the locker rooms were open until I looked. I was like, okay then. Didn't know someone snuck in there. But you had the PSP on you, which was your fault for doing. And you want to know why? You didn't have any fans at this point. So anyway, this video has gone long enough as it is. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you guys want part 2, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe with that big button right here, big button right here. Hit that notification button, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video because this is taking too long. So if you want part 2, y'all know what to do. See you guys soon, and take care.